Hello everybody out here and welcome back to Corpse Party D2 Zero Hope. We're going to move on to chapter 4. I don't know how many chapters there are, but I think this will be the last one I'll record because I gotta get sleep for my trip. So, yeah. After the girl with the red ribbon disappeared, Wakahisa and I hurried to the entrance to look for Iwakura. You didn't recognize her at all? No, I've never seen her before, but she looked our age. I was going to continue until I saw that the front entrance of the school was open. Hey, finally an exit that opens! I ran over to the door and looked outside. It was storming out and it was too dark to see past the forest outside the building. But going out there was probably a better idea than just staying in here, and it looked like Iwakura had already left. Wakahisa, let's get out of here! Wakahisa nodded and we both headed out the forest. Oh, why would you do that? We ran through the pouring rain looking for a path or trail to follow away from the old schoolhouse. Seconds stretched into minutes in the heavy storm. I could feel the weight of the rain starting to slow me down after a while. Do you see any landmarks we could follow? I looked around, but all I saw was forest. I don't see anything but trees. I can't even tell if we're still going the same direction. We kept on walking, though I was starting to get tired. I was about to take a breather when I saw a light in the distance. Hey, over there! Let's head toward that light! I ran toward the light, hoping it was a car or something that could take us away from here. Nakai's warning that this was a separate dimension from our world lingered in the back of my mind, but now I just wanted out. When I reached the light, everything went white. And when the light cleared, I found myself in our homeroom. Are we back? I looked around the room and saw all the decorations we spent the evening putting up. We're back! Hell yes, no rotting schoolhouse can contain us. This is a fucking lie, isn't it? A sigh came from a figure sitting near the front of the room. The figure stood up and approached us. Seriously? That's what you gotta say after getting out? Iwakura, you made it too! Iwakura shrugged. Yeah, whatever. Asahara and Miss Hasegawa already went home, so you better head out too. We don't need you two to do anything that might get the room dirty before the festival. He doesn't sound like an asshole. You know what that means, this shit's fake. We wouldn't do something like that. Iwakura shrugged again and sighed. Look, just go already. We'll meet for the festival tomorrow. It better be good at this rate. I smiled and nodded at Iwakura. We went through a lot of trouble for this festival. I'm heading out then. See you two tomorrow. That's a fucking lie. I thought so. Damn it. I grumbled over the weight of the rainwater drenching my clothes as I shambled back the direction I'd come. This blows. Catching sight of a now familiar building, I nearly sighed at the relief. I had a chance to get out of all the rain. Thank God. I pulled off my shirt and draped it over a bench. He has no nipples. And sat down right next to it, looking for something to dry my glasses with. Eventually, I settled on squeezing the water out of my shirt and wiping my glasses with the end of the shirt where they were marginally usable. Damn this fucking rain. I always relied on having a dry shirt to wipe my glasses with. This really sucked. I almost wish Wakahisa were here. She'd probably have a glasses wipe, probably one with a dumb design, but anything dry would help right now. I sighed and put my shirt back on before standing up. Okay, so maybe Nakai was right after all. Hopefully Tayama and Wakahisa weren't dumb enough to run out into that storm. I looked back at the rain one last time before heading back into the main building. Guess it's time to find a real way out. A surprising sight greeted me when I walked into the main hallway. Miss Hasegawa? Miss Hasegawa and Asahiro were walking by when I walked in from the entrance, and they turned to look at me when I called them. Iwakura. I'm glad to see you're safe. Miss Hasegawa frowned and walked over to me. Why are you drenched? Were you outside? I pointed over my shoulder to the open entryway. I tried to find a way out through the forest, but no luck. Just a bunch of trees and rain out there. Miss Hasegawa nodded slowly. You're lucky you made it back safely. It's dangerous to stay out there. Huh? How do you know? Miss Hasegawa crossed her arms and sighed. I was here once before, and I've seen what happens to people who wander this schoolhouse carelessly. I nodded, surprised but not interested in getting a lecture. Have either of you seen Tayama and Wakahisa? We have not. We were hoping you'd know where they were. I shrugged, trying to think of how to word this. I saw them, but we decided to split up to cover more ground. That wasn't a wise choice. Let's hope they haven't wandered too far. At any rate, you should come with us. We're going to check the principal's office for clues before we look for the others. Why the principal's office? I found something useful there the last time I was here, so if we're lucky, we may find a way to get out. Fine by me, let's get going. Miss Hasegawa nodded and started leading the way. I noticed that Asahira hasn't said a word since we met up. She wasn't usually this quiet. Something wrong, Asahara? I've been calling her Asahira this whole time. Holy shit. Asahara barely seemed to register my question, but she shook her head. Nothing. I sighed and continued to follow Miss Hasegawa as she led us up a flight of stairs. Guess Asahara is not in a talking mood right now. We got to the principal's office. Miss Hasegawa turned to us and crossed her arms. We want to be as thorough as possible without wasting time, so we should each take a side of the room to investigate. I'll investigate the back side with the desk and the sword display stand. I looked to the left and right to see what was available to search. On my left were a number of shelves that looked like they had books or sheets of something. To the right was an imposing suit of samurai armor, slightly larger than life size. A few chairs and a table were set nearby. I think I better go with the right side? That was the right side, right? Yeah. I'll take the right side. Miss Hasegawa nodded and looked at Asahara. In that case, you should search the left side, Asahara. Alright. We turned on our sides of the room and began to search. I checked the table and chairs for anything interesting, but looking underneath them didn't help me to find anything useful. I sighed and decided to examine the samurai armor more closely instead. The armor seemed to be slightly larger than an average person, which made me think it was designed as a decoration. It was never meant to be worn. It held a naginata in one gauntlet, and the other gauntlet was held over an empty sheath. Someone forgot to include the sword. I checked behind the armor stand, but there was nothing there but dust. I crossed my arms and sighed. This corner was just as barren as it looked. Iwakura. I nearly jumped when I suddenly heard Asahara next to me. You're gonna give me a heart attack. Sorry. Asahara... Did I call her Asahira again? Asahara stepped back and looked over at Miss Hasegawa. Look, follow me for a minute, alright? I need to tell you something. What, about Miss Hasegawa? I looked over at Miss Hasegawa, who had taken the sword off the display and laid it on the desk where she read a document of some kind. I don't want her to hear this. Just come with me for a moment. We can come back before she even notices we're gone. This seems really sketchy. Fine, but let's make it quick. I'm not sure why I agreed to follow Asahara, but she seemed relieved when I did so. I followed Asahara to a classroom across the hallway, being sure to step quietly and close the door behind us. So what's this big secret of yours? Asahara took a deep breath and looked me right in the eyes. I think that Miss Hasegawa is the person who brought us here. I raised an eyebrow, not sure how else to respond. I'm serious, I've been thinking, and it only makes sense. Why'd she do that? She has nothing to gain by being stuck here. What's the proof? Listen for a moment, and I'll tell you how it fits together. First, we both know that Miss Hasegawa has been here before. She said as much herself, and a ghost I talked to says that Miss Hasegawa is the only person that she knows escaped this place. That ghost also told me that Miss Hasegawa had a younger sister that died here 7 years ago. When I asked her about it, Miss Hasegawa said it was true. Thinking about it for a second, what kind of ghost story did Miss Hasegawa tell us before we came here? It was about two sisters, right? Exactly. And you made fun of the story for being unrealistic. Maybe the rest of us felt the same way, but didn't say as much out loud. Miss Hasegawa told me that the last time she came to this place, a vengeful spirit brought her here because she managed to anger the spirit. So I've been thinking, what if the ghost story that Miss Hasegawa told us was based on what really happened to her sister? If her sister died here and became a vengeful spirit, then us disrespecting her story would anger the spirit enough to get us trapped here. So Miss Hasegawa must have told us the story to get us trapped here, knowing that we wouldn't take this story seriously. Whoa, calm down, Asahara. I see what you're saying, but that doesn't make it Miss Hasegawa's fault, does it? Sounds like it's the sister's fault more than anything. But Miss Hasegawa's sister has been dead for 7 years. Why do we only hear the ghost story tonight? It's clearly not like Miss Hasegawa's other stories. There must be some reason behind Miss Hasegawa. There must be some reason Miss Hasegawa brought us here, and until I figure it out, I'm not going to trust her. This is getting out of hand. What's with the conspiracy theory? Miss Hasegawa is a teacher, not a criminal mastermind or serial killer. Look, let's just... Yokura, Asahara, where'd you two go? Damn it, what now? Uh... You're killing me. You're killing me here, Jackal. Maybe she should get over herself. I don't know. If she stays out of sight, then that's just gonna worry her. And she might die. But if she stays out of sight, then Miss Hasegawa will show that she cares for her. Shit, I don't know. Jackal, you're killing me, man. I'm gonna do this one. Well, if Asahara wants to play detective, she can be my guest. Screw it, you hide for now. I'll tell her that you ran off. Asahara looked surprised, but she nodded and ran to a corner of the room. I sighed and left the room, trying to figure out what to say to Miss Hasegawa. Miss Hasegawa was looking down the hallway, the sword from the principal's office in her hand. Asahara, Iwakura. I ran over to her and waved to get her attention. Over here, Miss Hasegawa. Miss Hasegawa turned to look at me and frowned. Where's Asahara? She ran off. I tried to follow her, but she disappeared somewhere. Miss Hasegawa changed her grip on the sword and crossed her arms. This is bad. She may have been possessed by a spirit. She gave me a concerned frown. Be careful, Iwakura. We must remain together if we want to survive. Alright. I pointed at the sword. What's that for? Miss Hasegawa held up the sword for me to see. It was on the display like a decoration, but it's sharpened. I figured it'd be safer to carry it with me than let something in the school use it against us. Right. What about clues? Find anything? I sure didn't. I found a slip of paper that looked like a map of the building, but it was too smudged to read well. I did notice that there were 5 markings in specific locations on the map. 2 of them were in a room on this floor. Should we take a look? We might as well, but if we come up with nothing, we should find Asahara and the others before we continue our investigation. It's not safe to let them wander alone. Miss Hasegawa turned and led the way down the hallway. We walked for a bit until she found the room she was looking for and slid open the door. I followed Miss Hasegawa inside and I immediately felt something off about the room. The air felt thick and oppressive, but more than that, the classroom looked like a mirror image of itself. Desks were lined up to face a chalkboard on both the front and rear walls. There weren't any lockers at either end, making the scene even more strange. It took only a moment to notice that there was another thing mirrored in the room. On each chalkboard there was a pentagram drawn in red chalk. The hell is with this room? It looks like it was mirrored, doesn't it? This must be a reason for that. Miss Hasegawa walked around and started examining the desk, looking for clues, I suppose. I walked over to one of the chalkboards and glared at the pentagram drawn on it. The red shape annoyed me, so I took an eraser and wiped away the pentagram. Better, sorta. I was about to put the eraser down when the chalkboard glowed a bit and the pentagram redrew itself on the board. There was no red chalk in sight, but there was a shape again. The hell? I heard footsteps behind me and Miss Hasegawa came to my side, frowning at the chalkboard. Did you try to erase this? Yeah, but it came back. Miss Hasegawa looked behind us and tapped her sword on the floorboards a few times as she considered the situation. I think I know why this room is mirrored now. Miss Hasegawa started walking away and I turned to see what she was doing. I had to deal with a similar situation once. If this is like that time, we'll have to erase both pentagrams at the same time to prevent them from returning. Miss Hasegawa picked up an eraser in her free hand and stood in front of the other chalkboard's pentagram. She turned and nodded at me. "When you're ready, Iwakura." I nodded and turned back to the pentagram. I raised my eraser and began to rub it away. Once the pentagram was gone, I looked over my shoulder to see that Miss Hasegawa had erased hers as well. I looked back at the chalkboard in front of me and noticed that the pentagram didn't reappear. I felt the air become lighter and easier to breathe, and I wondered how the pentagrams were connected to that. Well, that's that. I turned to see Miss Hasegawa frowning, a hand to her chin. "This seems like it was a seal of some kind. I hope we didn't just free a dangerous spirit." I suppose that would require us to find the other 3 pentagrams, though. I saw a few in the other building, but there's still one that I don't know where to find. Is there a way to figure out what's been being sealed away before we unseal it? Miss Hasegawa shook her head slowly. "I don't believe so. We should be careful before we erase any more pentagrams. In fact, we should find the others first. There's no telling what may happen if we erase the 3 pentagrams without finding them." As if on cue, the classroom door slid open. Who the fuck is that? 2 figures walked in, and one of them clearly not among the living. Really? They should be blue. The other was Asahara. Ah! Miss Hasegawa raised her sword in a defensive stance, causing Asahara to flinch. "Asahara, get away from that ghost!" Asahara and the ghost exchanged glances, and the ghost stepped forward. "Why would she listen to you?" "I am her teacher. In the absence of other authority figures, I'm responsible for Asahara's safety. Now step away from her." I walked over to Asahara and snapped my finger so she could look my way. "What's the deal, Asahara? What are you doing with that ghost?" Asahara scowled and pointed a finger at Miss Hasegawa. I was right that there was something off about Miss Hasegawa's story. I was talking with Jin here about my theory, and she had proof to back me up. Miss Hasegawa shot me a look and indicated that I should take a step back from Asahara. The ghost took another step towards Miss Hasegawa. "Asahara already suspected that you wanted to bring her and her friends here. What she didn't have was a motivation, but what my friends and I learned about your sister provides that motivation." "What are you saying?" "A man that once went to our school called Daiki returned in the spring last year to visit his old club, the Occult Club. He told us about a girl that he had known in high school that everyone looked up to. She was smart and beautiful and talented. That girl also had a little sister that went to the same school, a girl that wore a yellow ribbon at all times. One day, the younger sister disappeared and she was never heard from again, but the older sister suddenly became obsessed with ghost stories, particularly one about a girl that fell down the stairs and cracked her head open." I looked over at Miss Hasegawa to see that she was shaking slightly. Was this story about her? "One night, my friends and I decided to contact the spirit of the younger sister, since we were certain she was dead. We wanted to know the full story behind the strange girl that Daiki knew in high school. When we tried to contact the girl, we ended up here." At this, Asahara stepped forward to join the ghost girl. "You were the girl that Daiki remembered from high school, Miss Hasegawa. You knew that your sister was trapped here. You knew that we'd mock your ghost story and get pulled in ourselves. And I figured out the reason." Miss Hasegawa lowered her sword slightly, uncertain. I stayed silent, not sure how to react. "And what do you think I would have done this for?" "You're in league with your sister. You know that she enjoys tormenting people and murdering them in cold blood. So you offered your own students as sacrifices to your sister to show that you still remember her." I took a step back, Miss Hasegawa, and frowned. "Miss Hasegawa, is this right? Is that why we're here?" Miss Hasegawa lowered her sword and looked down. "Iwakura, this ghost is trying to make us distrust each other. I need you to grab Asahara. I'll drive off the ghost." Asahara spun to face me and glared. "You can't side with her, Iwakura. She's the reason we're here." Miss Hasegawa looked up at me with a tired expression. "Iwakura." Something didn't feel right about Asahara's assumptions about Miss Hasegawa's motivations, but I couldn't deny that she was reasonable for us ending up here. I stepped toward Asahara. "Unless you can explain why you brought us here, I'm siding with Asahara." Miss Hasegawa sighed, exhaling slowly. After doing so, she brought up the sword into a fighting stance. "Don't let the ghost turn us against each other, Iwakura. We only We will only survive if we stick together. Hey, we can do this together. The world is... Sorry. I felt like things were about to get bad, so I grabbed Asahara by the elbow and ran toward the classroom door. Yukura, Asahara! Asahara and I hurried down the hallway to the nearest stairwell. I felt dizzy from what I just listened to. It was hard to wrap my head around Miss Hasegawa trying to get us killed by her sister. She's following us. I turned to see Miss Hasegawa at the top of the stairwell, chasing after us with a sword in hand. I took another step down the stairs when the wood suddenly gave away. Shit! I pulled myself back, but the stairs leading to the next landing all crumbled and fell. The gap between us and the next landing was too far to jump, and I hadn't imagined it'd be fun to fall down there where the stairs had landed. No! I turned and saw that Miss Hasegawa was on the landing with us, only a few meters away from us. Miss Hasegawa was holding the sword at the ready, but I didn't see any murderous intent in her eyes. In fact, Mrs. Hasegawa seemed conflicted about something. Asahara, Iwakura, you need to listen to me. The ghost from earlier, the one Asahara had called Jin, suddenly appeared between us and Miss Hasegawa. Jump, you two, I'll make sure you land safely. She won't be able to follow you. I looked at the gap again and scoffed. No fucking way we can make that jump. Just jump! I turned to see Asahara leap off the ledge before I could say anything. Despite the gap, Asahara somehow seemed to float down to the next landing. Hell. I jumped, wishing I didn't have to make such dumb decisions and trust in some dead person to keep me alive. Did you see those eyes there? When my feet touched the floor, it was on landing next to Asahara. Let's go before Miss Hasegawa finds another way down. We need to hurry to the clubroom building. Huh? Why? Miss Hasegawa said she saw two strange markings in that building. I think she meant that she saw pentagrams. Jin thinks that those pentagrams might be connected to a way out of this place. I already erased one, so we'll just need to find two more after we erase the ones Miss Hasegawa saw. Actually, those two are the only ones left. We just erased some in that classroom you found us in. Even better, let's just go. Asahara rushed into the school building, and I reluctantly started to follow. The expression on Miss Hasegawa's face before we jumped swirled at the back of my mind. Was she really trying to kill us? And that is the end of chapter 4. Thank you guys so much for sitting down and watching me play Corpse Party D2 Zero Hope. I gotta go get some sleep. I got a flight to catch at 11. So thank you guys again for sticking by. It's been a while since I've uploaded. I know, I'm sorry. Just life has been busy, but I'm trying really hard to at least stream regularly. So again, thank you guys so much. Follow me on Twitter. I usually say a lot of stuff there, and I usually interact with people that tweet at me. So if you have any questions or just want to talk, go to my Twitter. If you want to get involved with the streams, I stream on Twitch and YouTube now. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much. This is Aki. Have a great day, and remember to always stay safe.
Don't tell me, baby, 'cause I don't really wanna know what happened last night. Oh no, just say it wasn't so. Just say you love me and let me fall back into sleep. And when I wake up, you say I had a